Hi guys, it's me again, Claudia, and I'm with this amazing friend of mine, Jen. Say hi. Jen is going to speak to us a bit about all sorts of things actually to do with wellness as in the body, sustainability as in the environment, something that she's always been passionate about, but recently had the pleasure of watching a movie that will be coming out soon speaking specifically about the effects in the ocean more.
Yeah, definitely.
Which has made Jen go, you know, I need to share the information that I've always had and shared, but on a broader spectrum, because there's so many things that this woman has taught me in about 5 minutes that I did not even have a clue about. So Jen, what would be like one of the main things that people every day in their day-to-day lives need to think about when it comes to helping the environment? Like, is it as serious as the media makes us out to be, or is it even more serious than that when it comes to sustainability?
Honestly, I think it's more serious, and the reason I say that is because when I recently did Plastic Free July, and I thought I was pretty good at this sort of stuff. I've been doing it for years, recycling, and when I started doing it, I realized there's a lot more there than what we notice, right? And so when we start looking at things rather than as a one-off, and this is my health and well-being, or this is sustainability, we look at it as a holistic view. There's a lot of little bits that contribute to one another, and they're all interrelated.
So, yeah, because I've noticed that a lot of the ways people approach this stuff is there's my well-being as a human, so what I consume, what I do, what I put on my face, all that stuff. And then the sustainability is in the things I have and how I dispose of them or reuse them or whatnot. But they actually intertwine.
Absolutely.
So can you give me an example of something that would totally intertwine that maybe a lot of people wouldn't think about?
Yeah, absolutely. So one thing I'm going to do is recommend that people go and see Blue, the film. It's coming out in cinemas in October. It's awesome. It's amazing. It will have you really think about what you're doing and how things are interconnected. One of the things that they talk about in the film is plastics, and I think we're all fairly aware that plastics are an issue in society. Every piece of plastic that's ever been created, it's still here. It hasn't broken down. It's still here.
So all this, when I ever hear of this plastic bottle or bag or whatnot is biodegradable, that's not true.
There are elements of it that might be, but as a whole,
it's 100%.
It takes like 1,000 years for plastic to break down.
Okay, so that's really pointless if it takes 1,000 years. So then they kind of tell you, okay, marketing perspective, it's biodegradable, just 1,000 years.
Yeah, and look, some of them may be a slightly less time frame than that, right? But that's generally sort of what's happening. So in less than 10 years, there'll be more plastic in the ocean than fish, okay?
Than fish.
That's
scary.
So it is. It's a pretty big deal,
That's
right?
horrible.
So in addition to that, when we look at things like the plastic and we think, okay, the plastic is in the ocean physically, it's inside animals, birds, fish, as a physical thing. So they're not eating the food that they need to eat to grow up to do what they do. In addition to that, I'm not going to give you too much because we'll overwhelm you, but there's chemicals and toxins in the plastic themselves, right? We went through a thing a few years ago with BPA free. Everything.
That's like a huge thing now. Like, BPA free.
So it's true. There are chemicals that BPA makes a difference. There's a lot of other chemicals in it that are making a difference and harming us. These chemicals haven't been tested. So something else is going to come out as something else free in the future, right? Here's the thing. The chemicals in that are leaching into the bloodstream of the fish. If you're eating the fish, it's in the tissue of the fish. You're eating it's part of the life cycle. It's not just, here's my piece of plastic, it's still sitting here, it's not breaking down. You're actually ingesting it, and then people wonder why there's disease and what's going on. And this is actually quite a significant part of it, in addition to, you know, a range of other factors.
See, that's crazy. So by whatever goes into the water, I guess, does go into a fish. If you eat seafood, goes into there. Or even if you don't eat seafood, then there are certain things in certain fish or coral or whatnot that are used in products. Like, you just don't know. I mean, you don't. There's a lot of ways that it can get back to us, whether we're eating that straight out fish or you know, like even like seaweed, like sushi, like who, you know, it. Wow.
And
man,
if you
don't
want to
know
look
what's in your body.
if you
right
want to look
now.
at an example of how much it's contributing, look at what it's doing to the coral reefs. I'm not saying
Yeah.
plastic's the only thing and the toxins in that,
yeah.
but they're contributing to it.
Of course.
They're making a difference. It's killing the coral reefs. It's doing the same to us. We've just tried to disconnect from it so that we're not quite as aware of what's going on.
I mean, because we're looking over the health system, people are more sick these days in all different ways.
Absolutely.
There's more cancer, obesity, heart issues, diabetes. It's just like we keep getting sicker,
Yeah.
and we have so much more technology, but we keep getting more ill and staying ill. And
Yeah.
and
And it's a catch-22 because
Yeah.
there is cutting-edge things that are helping us. You know, plastic, there's a lot of packaging, there's a lot of things we can have because we have plastic, but we need to start looking at new ways of doing it
Yeah.
so that we can have that with technology, not just throw the baby out with the bathwater, but not just completely embrace everything and just take that on. We actually need to be responsible and see what's in it.
That's awesome.
As we embark upon another plastic-free July, there are a few other suggestions I'd like to add. Firstly, watch A Plastic Ocean and Blue the film and learn more about what the issues are. There's links in the post. Secondly, wherever you're at, take a step forward. Saying no to the big four is a great start. If you're unsure where to get replacements, head over to the link I've put up at the end for a great range, including compostable, plant-based plastic bags. Yes, they're made of plants. If you think you're too small to make a difference, remember the Dalai Lama's response and try sleeping with a mosquito. I'll be back with more later. For now, thank you for being part of the change, and please feel free to share this if you feel it could help others.